Hey, can I get a drink?
Sure.
So you get to play games here? Do you want to play with me? Oh, that's a shame.
I'm really sorry. She was just really pretty. I promise it'll just be the three of us from now on.
In this episode, Fran ends up talking to herself in Larian Studios' indie RPG Divinity Original Sin.
Oh, puppy zombies.
As it's almost Valentine's Day, we're in the mood for love and chat about the more romantic side of video games.
I don't know how to say this another way. I want to spend the night with you.
And I attempt to channel the energy of the world as I'm unleashed on the might of Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z. Oh, this is like every other day of my life. Just two grown men arguing over balls.
Hi and welcome to The Killer Bit, where today we're going to start off by talking about Toby's favourite subject and how badly Nintendo are doing.
Kill yourself,
Well, no, let's be objective. Let's be objective about this. They've had to drastically revise their Wii U sales potential. They had a massive drop in stocks, which is recovered a little.
Of course, it's recovered to Nintendo.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good old Iwata's had a little bit of a pay cut.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, he still owns far more than anyone I know.
I was going to say, like,
but he did take a 50%
imagine
pay
if a politician had made a bad policy and they were like, fine, you know what, I just won't earn as much. Imagine how happy you'd be. That's not a sign of the end times. Nintendo are fine, okay? They've got the handheld market locked up. No one has a Vita. They've got new Smash Bros, new Mario Kart. They're fine.
So while we're on the subject of consoles, Amazon have announced that they're actually going to try and make a Android-based console.
Gives a shit.
See, this is my inherent problem with Android consoles. One, they're shit. Two, they're terrible. And three, there's no games.
Like games,
but they're all terrible.
The Amazing Frog.
The Amazing Frog. I know, but like an Android console is a phone that you can play while you poop in. Like I'm not going to set up a TV and console setup in my bathroom so that I can play. So that I can play a sub $300 console while I'm pooping because it's just going to be a shit console.
But, I mean, Amazon aren't the only people that have got a new thing. There's a New Year. It's going to be thrilling. It's black, and therefore better, and it's got less controller lag, and it's got more memory.
Does it have any games?
No.
No one's going to buy it. Well, I don't think that the new Ouya is going to save the Ouya, but I think Amazon may, if they can sort out some sort of Android console, which has, I agree with you, there's a game issue, but they're not following this Kickstarter model where they just be like, look, we're making a console, give us money. I mean, they've got the money.
They have more money than literally everybody else on the planet.
Yeah, but then so does Tim Schafer.
We're going to spaff 65 million into
Thanks for acknowledging my point.
I don't know, I would argue that Iwata had more money until he took his pay cut.
I don't know.
He probably still has more money.
Tim Schafer did not need all of the money that he got.
Oh god, no, that
Broken Age.
Broken Age, I was going to call it Broken World and I knew I was wrong.
Break your world, scum.
In recent years, Kickstarter has become the default go-to for funding indie games. Raising almost $1 million back in April 2013, Divinity Original Sin is no exception to this model. But how is it shaping up? Having just hit early access on Steam, I've gotten my hands on an alpha build of the game, which sees you play as a pair of source hunters out to save the world. Personal choice holds a role in the game, with decisions affecting the story. But what is unusual about this dynamic is that when interacting with NPCs, you can make decisions for both characters. Indeed, you can end up engaging in a series of dialogue with yourself, a schizophrenic's delight. As for the characters themselves, currently the creation options are limited, but there appears to be quite a scope for variation in your character design. Gameplay-wise, Divinity follows a top-down RPG model. What I found somewhat jarring is the turn-based nature of the combat, however. It freezes up the flow of the gameplay, but once used to it, can actually be quite entertaining. Characters can level up and gain new abilities, and Larian Studios has kept this mechanic quite open, not tying the player down to any particular role. Graphically, the game is gorgeous for an indie. although the alpha did provide some instances of delightfully standing inside walls. The level of detail in the environments, however, is exceptional, and as such, Larian Studios should be commended. The features I find most interesting about Divinity Original Sin, however, are those I have yet to experience. The game features a drop-in, drop-out co-op that I believe to be one of the key features that could change Divinity from a good game to a great game. Those self-discussions become a team decision, and strategizing becomes more predominant, combat more tactical. Another feature that could lead to gaming gold is the toolset provided with the game to create your own adventures. Combined with the creativity of the general public, this could lead to a game with hundreds of hours of gameplay. As this is a preview, only time will tell how Divinity Original Sin shapes up. But I'm excited to see how it turns out. This is definitely one to watch.
So, obviously it's Valentine's Day this week, so I thought we'd get all romantic and talk about romance in video games.
Oh, good.
There is romance in video games.
I agree with Rick.
And it's literally always pointless. It's ancillary to the actual main quest of the game, and it's...
No, sometimes it has to do with side quests and boosting your party.
Which is just what I said.
I think romance in video games falls into the same category as romance in movies. Sometimes, yes, it is necessary, and sometimes it's just an add-on to please the fans.
That's because there's multiple kinds of movies, just as there are multiple kinds of video games.
Yeah, like Final Fantasy, for example, you've got Lightning Returns, which may continue the beautiful love triangle that is Snow, Sarah, and Noel.
You know what? There's also a secondary plot in Final Fantasy about, a church and the end of the world and these people that turn into crystal. I'm just saying. It's not. Okay, look at Fire Emblem, Waifu Simulator 2013. It was amazing, and then you had to start eugenicsing your troops together. Eugenicsing. It's a verb. So that they bring back children from the future that would know the right moves. I felt like Hitler.
I disagree. I think if you completely squash any form of romance in video games, then you're basically squashing you're going to start squashing the relationships between characters.
Yeah,
even if it's just
I think it
friendships.
could do with being dialed back a little bit. I think it could definitely do with being dialed back. With Mass Effect, does your characters like you or not? Sleep with them, kick them out an airlock. It's all a bit binary, really.
Just shut up and kiss me. So my shepherd is called German Shepherd, and I'm not going to breed them with anyone. I realised now that this was a poor decision.
Fuck you, Fran.
I've never thought of that.
So, speaking of Western RPGs and the whole romance in them,
I think always BioWare. Dragon Age.
I think Dragon Age got it spot on though.
Well, Mills and Boon Age.
Oh come on, Alistair is the most attractive.
Brilliant, you're objectifying men.
He's no Marcus Phoenix.
Yeah, he's definitely no Marcus Phoenix. Those muscles.
Oh, that voice.
Dom,
where's my wife? Now there's a fucking romance subplot for you.
Yeah, oh my god. Where's Maria?
Oh guys, calm down.
Oh no, she looks like she's been tortured. Let's shoot her.
She's not attractive anymore. Where's my gun?
Yeah.
Now there's a romance subplot for you.
I was going to say, I've not even thought about Gears of War as a romantic subplot. I was thinking about RPGs like Skyrim, where you put on bling and everyone's like, Dovahkiin.
Oh, come on, that's quite realistic.
Would you like the D?
I was like, no, Brynjolf, leave me alone.
But I mean, all these games, they take romance, and it becomes, well, in the cases of Mass Effect and Dragon Age, it's an option. You can pursue that route, or you don't have to. But at least it's not these kind of weird games where the entire objective is to fall in love.
Sleep with a pigeon.
Hatful Boyfriend. The Hatful Boyfriend is the pigeon dating simulator.
Okay, can we just point out that you don't play as a pigeon? You play as a human.
In a school for gifted pigeons.
And you try and date pigeons.
I wonder what Tumblr has to say about this.
They probably support the rights of the
pigeons not to get buggered by a human being.
No, the human racist dove who beheads you if you flirt with him too much.
Yeah, the doctor.
The doctor, that's it.
You see, I'm just a big fan of Katua Shoujo, but that's because I am in love with one of the characters. She's my waifu.
Is it the legless girl on
Do you have
on
a
the
pillow?
Track team?
No, I don't have a pillow.
Oh,
Fran.
you totally have a Japanese body pillow.
Sometimes I try and feed my laptop though. I'm like, little spoonful for me, little spoonful for you.
If you had arms, you could do this yourself. This is why I'm a good husband.
Okay, one, she doesn't have legs. Be sensitive.
Oh god, this is the one on the track team.
After trying to argue that you hate romance and you hate love and video games don't deserve love, what is your conclusion?
My conclusion, Fran, is that video games should have whatever they want. They should have all of the graphic sex and graphic violence that I want from my entertainment media. They're art, and they should shut up, Rick.
Dramatic Toby U-turn.
It's not a U-turn.
It is. I don't want romance in my video games, but they can have them if they want.
I never said
video games could do whatever.
Look at you pandering to the crowd, Toby.
I never said that they shouldn't have it. I said that it's not the main selling point. And if you're buying a video game because you want to find out the romantic subplot, then you may as well read a book or watch a film. Video games are there because they have player interaction. And
what if the plot is romance?
Hang on. He's just realised that he's backed himself into a corner.
Yeah. If the plot is romance, then go and watch The Notebook. Enjoy that. You won't.
But tell us what you guys would think.
About The Notebook.
About The Notebook. Like, is it any good? Should I watch it? But more importantly, romantic video games. Does BioWare have it right? Is it a binary? Is it sleep with them, leave them on a planet to die as it explodes, and you choose somebody else over them? That was a hard choice. All those years ago.
Really wasn't a hard choice.
Well, it was, because it pulled the switch on you, and if you chose the person you wanted at the start, then they died.
You see, I chose Rex because I hope he wrecks my vagina.
Do you think that romantic video games should be kept? Do you think it should be gotten rid of, as Toby seems to suggest, and never see the light of day again because it's trivializing
should it be kept as the binary option, or should they do it more like Dragon Age 1, where it was less?
Can you guys please just wrap this up?
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know.
Comments below.
Jesus Christ.
Sometimes when I lie awake at night, I get this feeling, this thought. It pierces me. It scares me. It echoes through time, right the way from the late 90s until now. Do Dragon Ball Z games know that they're a little bit shit? It's just that they start with this huge animated intro that really tugs at your nostalgia. They play the old theme, they show us enemies brought into new animation styles that get you completely and utterly into the right mindset to Kamehameha some Cybermen. So no matter how the game actually plays after that intro, you're too dosed up in endorphins and childlike wonder to actually notice its flaws. Battle of Z is the latest in a long line of Dragon Ball games to employ this formula, which is why, for the first 10 hours or so, it had me under its spell. The game itself is a new type of DBZ fighting game, sort of in the vein of Budokai Tenkaichi, but with team battles wherein the player chooses one Z warrior and sticks with them throughout. It's sort of like a FIFA or NBA game, where you can choose to be anchored to one of your players throughout the match, except that instead of tossing a pointless inflated object into an important shape, you're doing battle with gigantic lasers and superpowered aliens. Your team consists of 4 guys, which changes depending on the stipulations of the mission at hand. Kid Gohan can't fight Majin Buu any more than Vegeta can fight Vegeta. It'd break the canon, although given the game's new take on the story, I don't think the canon was the first priority when writing Battle of Z. Now, I know that this is a minor niggle, and you can't really expect a game based on a cartoon, based on a TV show, which is based on a legend, which is based on the historical pilgrimage of a monk in 600 AD to dot all its I's and cross all its T's. But at the same time, there are things that it misses just for the sake of convenience. This, however, is badass because it means that I can have a team of 4 Super Saiyan Super Future Trunkses, which is fantastic. Because of this new confusing 4-a-side battle system, combat has been kept refreshingly simple. You've got a hit things button and a zap things button, a block button that allows you to super hit and super zap, and 2 special moves a character that can be accessed by pressing either trigger. Compared to some older games, this can make the game feel a little shallow, but given that this new game is the first in its style, a few kinks and janky movement controls can be forgiven for the hectic warlike feel the game manages to impart, even if some mechanics are a little undercooked. Zipping around the battlefield, keeping an eye on your allies, and team play are paramount in Battle of Z, and this comes to the surface in a few different ways. First is the launcher, an attack that any character can do simply by combining the block and hit buttons, which sends an enemy flying. Tapping the button a second time teleports your character behind the foe, which allows you to start pinging the hapless opponent between team members for a super powerful, incredibly satisfying chain. Second, we have synchro attacks, which just seem to happen if I'm honest, where you and your teammates surround a single enemy and kick the shit out of him like it's a night out in Peckham. It looks a bit like that bit from Clockwork Orange, but with cell shading, making it equal parts awesome and disturbing all at the same time. Following that, we've got all the usual stuff that comes with team games, sending each other energy, healing each other, picking up down opponents, the ability to control your squad mates' behaviour with the D-pad a la Rogue Leader. It's almost a painting by numbers affair, which makes co-op both with AI partners and humans online, feel more like a group effort, and once again, more like NBA Jam. There are different character types too, from range type to melee type to even interference and healing types. This means that to create the ultimate squad of Z Warriors, you don't just choose the guys with the spikiest hair anymore. Sometimes you do have to bring along Krillin. The game also has a host of online functionality, which is way more in-depth than just the addition of simple online co-op and battle modes. I mean, those modes do exist, and they're absolutely the best way to enjoy the game, with the battle mode having not only team deathmatches, but also a mode called Capture the Dragon Balls, where teams compete to be the first to attain all 7 magical balls, and altogether, it's more than lovely. But the thing that's truly revolutionary is the addition of the internet spirit bomb in a mechanic so brilliant you could slap a wig on it and call it Einstein. Anyone with any degree of familiarity to Dragon Ball Z in any form will be aware of Goku's ultimate move, the Spirit Bomb, which draws energy from every plant, animal and person on the planet, or in some cases, the galaxy. If you know about this, then you'll be glad to know it's the very first thing you see on the title screen, with blobs of energy moving to and from the planet, growing this incredible ultimate attack. What more eagle-eyed players will notice throughout the game is that next to these smaller blobs of energy are names, and an encouraging message, and this is because rather than drawing energy from a fictitious entity, in Battle of Z, the energy comes from the player base itself. Give me energy! At the end of a mission, you're asked to lend Goku your energy you've just generated by fighting, and you can choose to do so or not. Not doing so doesn't yield any positive effects for you, so really if you do that, you're just sort of an asshole. After a certain point in the story mode, you can then access this energy in the form of an ultimate attack. In Goku's case, it's that Spirit Bomb, and it's probably the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in a Dragon Ball Z game. There's a sense of community there, which almost makes the draw distance issues, weird plasticky graphics and nonsensical canon issues almost irrelevant. When you're charging a Spirit Bomb, you have the energy of the world in your hands, and now because it's real, it feels like nothing else in the world. All in all, Battle for Z is a confusing game. Technologically and mechanically it's sort of a flop. I mean, the game was being designed for Vita alongside, which means that it sort of looks like an upscaled handheld game, and I don't need to tell you why that's a bad thing. For fans of the show, it's an absolute must-have, but then again, if you are a fan of the show, you've already probably bought the game and therefore don't need the review. It's also very, very repetitious, which means that, well, it's sort of the death of fun. I don't mind, because I mean, I get to Kamehameha some fools, but that's just about it. Objectively, I'm going to have to give the game 4 out of 8 bits, but like I said, if you're a fan, go get it. Go get it, Tiger.
So the winter drought of games is finally coming to an end. We've got
what was that
loads
face?
of things.
Games are terrible now, Fran.
Are you kidding? We've got Lightning Returns, Lego
the movie, the video game.
The movie, the video game.
But that movie does look amazing though.
Yeah, it does. Thief.
They cut the quick time events.
They have cut the quick time events. Like the
They
one
listen.
thing which was guaranteed to make the game awful. Like all we have to worry about now is like the story direction, the art direction, the graphical
arrows.
engine, the control scheme. So like the things that we normally have to worry about without worrying about the fact there'll be quick time events. And Castlevania,
I can't wait.
Lords of Shadow 2?
Lords of Shadow 2, where you play as Dracula.
Excellent.
It's going to be gorge.
Fantastic.
You get to bite people.
Okay, I've run out of fake enthusiasm, let's talk about March. So, March is really expensive for games. You've got Titanfall.
Which is going to be amazing.
It's going to be amazing.
So good.
Oh,
And you can play on a console you own.
Actual enthusiasm from
Yeah,
people?
that's actual enthusiasm. It's a mech shooty arena game, and then of course we got Dark Souls, which I'm not even going to let you guys pretend isn't coming out, you bastards.
Oh.
In fact, let's just ignore that
Yeah, okay, Dark
completely.
Souls.
Let's
What else
gloss
is coming
over.
out?
Possibly ignore Dark Souls.
Oh, this Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare.
Yep, that's definitely more important than Dark Souls.
Is it?
Yeah,
I think
that
it's
looks
like some
really
kind of like Dungeon Defenders with
Defenders
plants.
with plants, yeah, exactly.
Yep, it's
Well, I
definitely
think-
for vegetables.
I think it could be fun as a kind of just multiplayer
Yep, it could be fun.
mess about.
Like
with
Dark Souls.
Do you know what else is coming out? Stick of Truth.
Oh my god, I actually
Yeah.
can't wait. It looks like Paper Mario with farts.
That's the best description of that I've
That
heard yet.
actual fucking
That's
moment.
actually perfect.
He's right, by
See,
Jove.
My fear with
I
Stick of
can't handle
Truth
that.
is that it's going to be one of these ones that if Half-Life 3 is ever made, it will be, which is something that is like
it'll just be Paper
so
Mario
hyped.
with farts.
No, it's going to be overhyped and it's going to be a letdown and everyone's going to be really sad.
Okay,
but everyone's going to buy it. So
Trey
they'll make a
Parker
sequel.
and Matt Stone are writing this game.
As a games reviewer, you should be really excited about delayed games that are supposed to be good and turn out to be terrible, because it makes our job super easy.
It really
I like
does.
playing good games.
No, you don't.
Do you know what else is in March?
What else is in March? Oh, I know what else is in March.
Yeah,
It's not a
yeah,
game.
you do.
It's not a game. We are going to Rezzed at the end of March, which is up in
I
Birmingham.
thought they were finally going to say Dark Souls.
Oh, I can't wait for Dark Souls! Right, okay, I've done it, I couldn't hold it.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Rezzed. We're all going to Rezzed in Birmingham, and it's going to be fucking cool.
If you want to come say hey, please say hey.
And-
I'm lonely and I've got to stay with these chuckle fucks.
And in the meantime, you can follow our lovely new Twitter hashtag. I can't believe I did that. Road to Rezzed, because we've got some exciting stuff coming up in the lead out to March. But keep an eye on it. But Rezzed, Alien, whatever it's called.
Oh god, yeah, that's where I'm going to be at Rezzed. I'm going to be first in line constantly at the Alien Isolation booth, because it's the first time they're going to have a playable build.
I'll be hanging around the Alien Isolation booth like this.
Clearing the path, and yeah, we're going to be...
No, not clearing a path, just waiting.
We're going to be... Everyone who walks out, what did you think? It was good. Bang! Stop building my hopes up.
We're going to have some fantastic footage of Toby getting kicked out of Rezzed for your all to enjoy.
Yeah, he's going to be interviewing people as they leave at the end of the day.
How was it?
What did you think? Was there any
Is that what it sounds like to you?
Yes.
Wow.
But like I mentioned, we've got the hashtag Road to Rezzed, so check out that on Twitter.
In fact, you're completely underselling this. The Road to Rezzed is a huge thing for this channel. We've got loads of really exciting things going on. Throw a subscribe at the bottom of the video. It's well worth it, we promise. It's going to be all over Facebook, facebook.com/thekillerbits. It's going to be all over Twitter, @thekillerbits, hashtag Road to Rezzed. It's all going to be... It's
You're
going to be
practically
everywhere.
gushing.
It's going to be everywhere. I think March is going to be a real great month for us, and it's really worth sticking around for.
Man, you know what? If that's how you're going to segue, I'm going to stop dropping all that. Hashtag kill yourself.
You know all those wages you've been expecting?
Nope, I don't expect anything from you except vitriol and sadness.
And on that note, thanks for watching, you guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.